dead.
It's a big fish, whatever that is.
All right, here we are, fishos. We're heading out, leaving Mangles Bay. It looks pretty good, but you never know until you get about 10 k's out there, so. Started heading out, probably about, I don't know, 20 kilometres offshore, 25, and then I'm not sure if you can see in the background, but it's pretty average. So I might have a mosey around, just burn some time and wait for this wind to drop off. The gusts are well above forecast, just having a quick look. I think we're pushing about 15 to 20 knots. And they're only predicted to be no more than 15, so just have to wait it out. It's not worth going out because if it gets really bad, then it makes it quite dangerous. So yeah, a bit disappointing. It was a good ride out for the first 10-15 k's, which is pretty typical for an easterly, and then yeah, it just turned to slop.
A few moments later.
Well, it's rough as guts, so this wind's picked up a lot earlier than I expected and a lot more stronger than what I should say was forecasted, not what I expected. And so we're going to stay in close and see if we can smack some Dhufish, as much as I don't want to because hapuka season, but it is what it is. So no real plan. I started heading out straight west from Rockingham to some areas out to 300s, but so I'm well north of where I normally like to fish, but that's okay. We'll figure something out, and I'm sure we'll find something. Just need to search around. Haven't got many points in this area, so in the depth I'm in, which is about 44 meters, something like that. So just have a look around and see what we can find, and hopefully don't get a wave over the back of the boat. Had a couple of close calls, but yeah, should be okay. We'll see ya dropping a line. Alright, so what you're looking for, I've got low and high running side by side. And the reason I want to do that is because the wide gives you a wider beam angle than say high. And I like using the high, narrow beam that is, to pinpoint where the fish are. With these wider beams you can be probably about up to 10 meters off the actual mark itself, and the narrow beam will give you that pinpoint ability, and it's particularly useful when you go out deep as well. Obviously a narrower beam is better, and that's why I run 50 kilohertz I should say on this low range. Okay, so enough about the transducers and sound up, but we're just on some flat coral areas. There is like no real structure in these areas typically. So what I'll be looking for is a bit of this sort of stuff. And the fish may not be showing because during the day they typically don't sit up. They do, and you do get them occasionally sitting up. But what they'll do is they'll just hide in the little cracks and crevices, all that sort of stuff. So when you got a bit of fluff on top, it means that there's a bit of vegetation like weed and things, and weed doesn't just grow freely in the sand. Typically it'll be attaching to something out here, and also it just means that there's some softer surface as well. It also could be fish that's sitting on the bottom. It's really hard to know. Even with all the technology these days, sounding is quite, yeah, a bit different. So something like that could be fish. But yeah, it's worth a drop. Today it's a bit rough, so I'm probably going to be looking for something a little bit better than that. Okay. Oh, straight away. Okay. weird. Feels heavy but dead. Oh, I've snagged a bit of coral. Or cuttlefish or something. Big cuddly. Alright, just go get our little cuttlefish. I'll show you what I do. First thing you need is a gaff. Second thing is a knife. The thing about cuttlefish is they like to make a big mess. So, now what I like to do is gaff it, get control of it so it doesn't squirt ink everywhere. And then slice the back of its neck to kill it so it can't make any more mess. Alright, so oh, well, that didn't work. And off he goes. Thanks, mate. Thanks for making a mess of my body. Asshole. Now get this ink off as quickly as you can. Well, usually that's quite effective. Funny though, for you guys at home, I'm sure. I have caught my fair share of cuttlefish. And I reckon that's the first one that's done that in years. Because usually when you gaff them, you got control and you can control the spray, but I loosely gaffed that one and it had control, not me, unfortunately. All right, we'll go around again. Shit. Well, you might have got that on camera because I forgot to turn it off. But yes, it is rough and we just have a wave come over the nose, which is never fun. Now, if you're thinking, oh, it's too dangerous to be out, Spence, while you're out. It's not really. The seas are still down. That wave licked up. I mean, you got swell going against sea, so it licks up and it came over the nose of the boat. Now the weather should get better after about 10, 11, 12 o'clock today. It should calm off nicely. And it's not unsafe because whilst it's an easterly, I can head southeast and make it back to land and be protected from the easterly and then dogleg it back home. So if worst comes to worst, I can always make it back home. Wow, saw that wave just pop up. Now this is a good example. People have asked me, why don't you use a sea anchor? All right, so, oh, that was a hit. Hang on, give me a second. Come on, eat it. Now I get asked quite a lot, why don't you use a sea anchor? Simply put, they're dangerous, and when you need them, like today, you got a fast drift, it's like doing about 2 knots, if I put a sea anchor down and I attach it to the front of my boat and cross it over here so it drifts out that way and pulls me back, this side of the boat's going to go bloop, and it doesn't take much, but one wave at the wrong time comes straight over the boat, and because it's already dragging, it pulls it down more. You'll take on more water than what you would without. Sea anchors are great. I'm not dissing them in any shape or form. I just don't use them. I've used them for many years in the earliest part of fishing off a boat. People told me they were great, blah, blah, blah. But by the time I've lined up my drift, put the sea anchor in the water, that's wasted a good 30 seconds of my time. Once it takes about, another 30 seconds for it to stretch out, then start taking on the anchoring of the water. My drift starts changing because of the grab of the sea anchor. And before you know it, you're like well off the mark that you intended to drop on, and you're just drifting in some other direction inconsistently. Without a sea anchor, I've already dropped on the bottom. I've already hooked up to a fish, probably got it halfway up by the time you figured out your drift and all that sort of stuff with your sea anchor. And then, so you don't get any bites, you go back around on your drift. You got to pull that thing out of the water, which takes another minute. Plus it brings water in your boat. All these other bits and pieces of, they're mucking around. By that stage, I'm already around on the drift, already dropping down, probably hooked up to another fish by the time you pulled in your sea anchor. So for me, number one, it's dangerous when you got weather like this. Number two, I get twice as many drifts to your one. Well, in essence, more time in the water, on the right places, that is, catching fish. So I had a few guys come at me online about it. Oh, sea anchors are fantastic, you don't know what you're talking about, blah, blah, blah. Well, that's your decision, this is mine, and this is my opinion, and this is based on experience. I've got a good one at home if anybody wants it. It's rated up to 8 metre boat, I think. 6 to 8, something like that. Big vinyl one. But I've never needed one, never. Even now, like, I'm holding bottom fine. Now what you can do, but I won't advise as well, is you can reverse back into it occasionally just to bring that speed, because your speed sort of, the momentum of the boat picks up. You start drifting consistently about 2 knots. Intermittently you can just chuck it in reverse, not rev it or anything, just at idle, put it in reverse, it slows down that drift speed a little bit, and that helps as well. I particularly use that if I'm out deep dropping, but for Dhufish, I just find a heavier weight works just as well. So also look at dropping your diameter of your line. Dropping the diameter of the line causes less friction as it goes through the water, and less lift, which in turn gives you better up and down. All right, we're well off the drift. I talk too much. Let's go back around. Now when there's a quicker drift, it's nothing bad as well. Like if you're doing about a knot, it's not too bad. It might not be great for, really light stuff, like light jigging and stuff, but you cover more ground. Like seriously, there's nothing bad with a fast drift, really. You got to understand, these fish, particularly Dhufish and that, they'll sit in the crevices, under ledges or in cracks, out of the current, right? And there'll be current pushing over baits that move past, okay? And they're not going to sit there and just wait for it to pop in their mouth. They actually chase these things that are drifting past. So a fast drift isn't a bad thing. Like, I can't tell you how many fish I've caught at 2 knot speeds, had it float up like 100 meters down the back of the boat. It's not a bad thing at all. The only thing is you got to keep letting line out and make sure you're on the bottom, that's all. The only thing that I don't like about weather like this is trying to find ground, number one, because it's so rough it's hard to really circle around on it and navigate it. And number two is going back up on your drift, because you're battling this shit. And I shouldn't swear, sorry kids. But it really is slop, and it's trying to keep your nose out of the freaking holes, and it's a pain in the backside, absolute pain. So all I'm doing is just leapfrogging from spot to spot. When I say spot, just anything I find. That's the best way I find to explore. Just leapfrog around until you catch a fish. Usually where there's one geofish, there's more. So just because you catch one and then no more doesn't mean there's no more down there, because sometimes they just all sook after one disappears, and they're quite a social animal, really. Well, most animals are, aren't they? Like us. If our friend went missing, you'd be upset too. So very similar. And then occasionally you get really lucky and you find a pile of them, like schools, big ones. But as I've said in my previous videos, don't keep hitting that same spot. Just spread it out. Give that spot time to recover. Give the fish time to settle in, breed. Yeah, come back in 12 months. Once you caught a few fish off it, leave it alone. I know I've done a few series on Juice Supermarket, but I haven't been there for 6 months now, so, and I won't go back there until probably maybe end of this year. Give it time. I know the fish are there. I don't need to go out there and catch and freaking fish off it every time, because then I'll just ruin the spot. There'll be no Dhufish there anymore, and then I have to find my next Juice Supermarket, right? Anyway, thoughts of Spence. Look, I hope this is useful advice for you guys new to boating and fishing at home. I really do. I'm sure there's a lot of more experienced guys that are probably learning a bit as well. So, ooh, that was a good hit, that was. I reckon I might have taken my bait. That was a really good hit. And just going back on that sea anchor topic, if you're new to boating, just don't use one, please. Heed my advice. Do not use a sea anchor if you're new to boating. Do not. Get some experience under your belt, then look at them, because like anybody who's new to boating is not familiar with the conditions, they can put themselves at risk. Well, I don't really want to stay out here long, because I could be spending my Sunday a bit better than just sitting out here in this pretty horrible weather. So we've had a couple of good hits, but nothing really stuck so far. And it's really hard to tell if they're Dhufish or something else. Now the key thing that I do is hold my rod up as high as I can, and then when I get a hit like that, you drop it and give the fish some time with the bait. Now this is one of my favourite spots in close. When I say in close, about 20k. It's a big cave here. It's in the middle of nowhere, and I've had schools of pinkies on it, dewies, but I think the crayfishermen are onto it, because I've seen a pod on it in the last few years. So yeah, I think everybody has it now, and I haven't had done well since. So I did see a blob on it before, but trying to find that blob in this weather is going to be difficult. So hopefully it finds me, and I don't think it has. This weather is absolutely shite. And if you don't know what shite means, it's a fancy way of saying shit. soon as I hit bottom. It's only small, whatever it is. I'll bring it up slowly. Hopefully it's a black ass. Sergeant Baker, even better. Ooh, it's a big Sergeant Baker too. Oof. That was a bit hectic. Now imagine if you had a sea anchor on. I do stand by my weather video if you haven't seen it. That northeasterlies are the worst weather to go out in. Wind against swell here in Perth. Not good. Can't speak for other parts of the country, but certainly here in Perth. There's a bit going over a bit of fluff. Oop, that was a fish. That was a good fish. Dropped him. So I'll show you what I look for on the sounder. I have a photo, and this is what brought me to stop here. Now this is not far offshore. This is not anything special. It's just common areas where you can get out here. I can see land from here, but I don't think it's going to show up on the camera. And look what we got. This is a big fish. Don't know what this is, but it feels sharky. Very sharky. I've been wrong before. Very heavy, whatever it is. Jagged something. I'll go around again because I had some good hits then. We'll see what it is. But there's definitely fish around there. I don't know what this is, eh? Probably a monster freaking cuttly again. Usually early winter, there's plenty of them around. It's going to be interesting, whatever it is. Oh, it's a fish, surely. hell is that? What the hell is that? Oh, that's got to be the biggest banjo I've ever seen. Well, I would have never guessed a banjo shark. And that's the biggest one I've ever seen. I used to catch a lot of these off the beach. I'm just trying to get that and cut it out. There we go. Whew. That's the biggest banjo I've ever seen. I'd like to know if you've seen any bigger, but that's bloody huge. Ooh. Now this is a blob over good ground, so hopefully some success. That's good fish. Small. Well, very pinkish. It's Dhufish. It's a Dhufish. Still pretty close, 20 k's out. There's quite a few boats out here now, but nice little lump, and it's got some good readings on it, so hoping for a whack by a big Dewey, but we'll wait and see. Like that. Oh. It's bucking a bit. It's got some big head shakes. It's got to be pinky, eh? Big pinky, I reckon. Ooh. Kicking like a mule. If that, it was a really big Dewey trying to spit the hooks. That I'm not too sure. Good fish, whatever it is. I think there's more down there too. A little bit of colour. Still fighting. It's long. Is it a sambo? I think it might be a sambo, eh? Yeah. Samson fish. Probably about 10 kilo, I'd say. Hooks.
Alright, let's get this hook out and send him back. Now, I sometimes keep these for dog treats, but today I can't be bothered. It's a Sunday and I've got work tomorrow, so now don't be deterred if you get sambos on a spot. Doesn't mean that there's other fish not there. Sometimes what you get is sambos on top and then you have all the demersals underneath. Especially if there's bait fish around, the sambos churn it up, hitting it. Demersals underneath or feed, so you just got to keep it on the bottom if you want to avoid. That was a fish. Again, what's going on? Oh, something bumped. Whoop, and again. Good fish down there. I'm just hooking my don't know what's going on. Because I got the fish filled bait, I reckon they're grabbing the skin. Probably dangling on there. Like some old man's testicles. They're just grabbing it, pulling. Gotcha. Something small. It's on the bottom on the sand, so you never know. Yeah, pinkies. Big fish, whatever that is. Looks like a shark. Big stingray. There's a whiskery. I might keep it because we've been fishing chip nights. Not a dewy.
chances. What do you reckon it is? I'm thinking stingray. But then again, stingray would fight harder. Another one of those banjo things. Whiskery. Looks like a whiskery. Yep. Nice big whiskery shark. Looks rather fat. She's probably got eggs. So I'll let her go. Been there before, and you feel pretty bad. And you pull it up and it's just full of baby sharks. Probably something to be aware of, because yeah, winter time is pretty much their prime breeding time. So if you do get the female, just let them go. As much as they're a good eating shark, they're better off out there laying more babies. But I feel like a Dhufish today. Now, if we kept everything that we caught today, we'd have a full esky. I'd still be short of Dhufish, but Samson fish, whiskery shark, Dhufish. Hey fishos, hope you gained some valuable information from this video. If you'd like to meet us in person, we will be down the Perth Boat Show this year. Feel free to come down and check us out at the Creators Hub and ask us all your boating and fishing questions. We will have some WA fishing merch and fishing gear to give away. Also, make sure you use our discount code WAFishing10 to receive your 10% discount off your tickets for the Perth Boat Show. We will see you all down there, fishos. What a day! That weather was horrible. And you can probably see why I don't like using sea anchors. And like I said before, if you're new to boating, don't get one. Don't get one until you're more advanced on the water, more confident. Those things can be deadly. You get one wave of the boat, it's all over, particularly under boats under 6 meters. Well, I hope you enjoyed that episode of WA Fishing. We didn't find the big dewies today, but good mixed bag of different species. And I hope you learned some things. And also, again, with the sharks going into winter, those whiskeries and gummy sharks alike, they start breeding, so something to be mindful of. If you do intend on keeping them, it's up to you, but don't be surprised if there's full of eggs and babies on those females. So good idea just to release them. I love eating them, especially in fish and chips, deep fried, but I've got plenty of fish at home, I don't need them. Well, beautiful sunset. What a way to end the day. And another episode of WA Fishing. We'll see you next time. Make sure you like this video and subscribe if you're not subscribed. Got plenty more fishing action. I'm hoping to get out deep. Just got to get the weather
and get into some hapuka for you. Definitely my #1 deep water species for eating. They freeze well and they taste good. Alright, catch you in the next episode. See ya.